Every intelligent individual wants to know what makes him tick, and yet is at once fascinated and frustrated by the fact that oneself is the most difficult of all things to know. Alan Watts suggested that the brain is far more complex than any computer. Even our neurologists struggle to understand and conceptualize the magnificent powerhouse we have on top of our shoulders. Therefore, if we don't understand our own brains, it simply shows that they are a great deal more intelligent than we are. However, this doesn't mean you can't actually utilize this splendid tool to create untold power within yourself and the world around you. The mind of Alan Watts is filled with beautiful knowledge that can offer tremendous insight into the power of controlling your thoughts. So, dear knowledge seekers, stick with us as we unravel the charming truth of the wisdom of Alan Watts and how you can use this to grasp the complex inner workings of the mind. This is the first Alan Watts video of many to come, so stay tuned if you want more of this philosophical genius. Contrary to the title of this video, Watts did not necessarily believe that we could have complete control of our thoughts, only that you can practice a deeper acceptance of what is flowing in and out of your complex mind. In the words of Watts, everything is change. Nothing can be held on to. To the degree that you go with the stream, you see, you are still, you are flowing with it. But to the degree that you resist the stream, then you notice that the current is rushing past you and fighting with you. So swim with it, go with it, and you're there. Your thoughts are exactly like this stream, constantly flowing from one idea to the next. Controlling them would be like trying to keep fire in a bottle. But before you can learn to flow with your ideas, one must accept the transient nature of thought and see that they are not a permanent part of one's identity. Your thoughts do not make up who you are, and trying to control them may lead to increased mental distress and a counterproductive mindset. Instead, we must learn to observe them without judgment, letting them come and go naturally. You will find that as you become more aware of these thoughts swirling through your mind, you can develop a sense of detachment from thoughts that do not benefit you, reducing their power to control your emotions and actions. After all, you choose your actions, so what power does a simple thought have over you? The answer is none, so long as you choose to let go of the patterns that are controlling your actions and emotions. So, how exactly do you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment and release your mind from the chains of overthinking? It may sound like a difficult task, but Watts has some deep insights into the world of thought and the power that can come from accepting what is true reality and letting go of the illusion created by the mind. The first step to becoming the master of your thoughts is to stop identifying with each thought running through your head. Instead, realizing that you are the ever-present observer of these thoughts. Detaching from the linear nature of your thoughts will enable you to overcome the power that they have over you. This is done by observing each and every thought as though this observer is a separate entity from the one you attach to your thought processes. Once you begin observing the nature of your mind, you will start to see a pattern unfold before you. You may find that many of your thoughts consistently hold a negative perception of the world around you, and much of your unhappiness has a root in these attitudes towards the world at large. Or you may find that your thoughts belittle you, creating the false idea that you are not worthy. Observation of your thoughts is the first step in the right direction, and you will see that many of your thought patterns were taught to you by past experience. Yet, past experience does not determine your future. Watts believed that trying to control these thoughts often stems from a desire to avoid discomfort or negative emotions. Many of us never deal with these negative emotions, keeping them running in the back of our minds by distracting ourselves with meaningless forms of entertainment or even addiction. You have to learn to confront these thoughts with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. Once you start to confront the swirl of chaos in your mind without judgment, you will notice a greater sense of emotional resilience, therefore reducing your reactions to thoughts that were previously associated with unpleasant experiences. You may have seen a pattern emerging here. Many of our negative attitudes were born from past experiences that we continue to energize with our thoughts. Watts often spoke about the importance of living in the present moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. He believed that by fully immersing oneself in the present, one could attain a state of mindfulness where thoughts lose their power over the individual. Alan Watts said that the future is an abstraction, the past a memory. All that we can actually know is in the present moment. What does he mean by the future being an abstraction? To put it in simple terms, an abstraction is represented by ideas rather than an actual reality. We spend much of our lives worrying about the future and giving meaning and energy to abstractions of the mind. These are just ideas that are not always rooted in reality. Once you truly start observing the mind, you will notice that most of what you worry about never actually materializes in your life. So, why waste time worrying about eventualities that likely aren't going to happen? There is a beautiful reality you can focus on in this very moment. It is in the eternal present of the now that life unfolds. Next time you go for a walk, focus on each step that you take. As you move along, take deep breaths right down to your feet and slowly release this breath. As you do so, let your thoughts wander, but do not attach to the tidal waves of the mind. Like the waves of an ocean, the ebb and flow of your thoughts is a natural process, so don't seek to understand what is running through your mind. Just observe it for what it is, a natural process that can teach you about yourself. This is not just the path to peace and joy in your life, but a path to self-awareness and mindfulness that will enable you to attract the life your soul desires. Another step to cultivating acceptance in your thoughts is through the practice of meditation. The point of meditation is not to clear your thoughts completely, but to become aware of your thoughts and emotions without attaching to them. Sometimes this can be difficult. Our lives are full of distraction, but it's important to recognize that this distraction is keeping you in a loop of the same harmful thought patterns. If you struggle with meditation, ask yourself this question: what thoughts am I running away from or avoiding? Meditation will help you understand the answer to this question and bring you one step closer to following a more genuine path in your life. It can be a painful experience, but the greatest lessons come from the most difficult times in life. Once you can move through the seriousness of your thoughts without attaching, you start to see that your mind is a playful entity with abilities of boundless creativity. It becomes a playground, a never-ending landscape of ideas, emotions, and experiences that will allow you to see life in a new light. Alan Watts said that this is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. When we become more playful with our thoughts and in turn ourselves, the seriousness of life begins to fall away, allowing us to create a beautiful, humorous reality that brings us untold joy and different experiences that we never thought possible. An exquisite game that is not supposed to be taken so seriously, that can be played with a sense of joy and love. In the words of Alan Watts, life is like a dance, and the music is in our hearts, so let's dance. Open your ears and eyes to this music, and you will start to tap your fingers to the cosmic drumbeat of the universe. Now that you are one step closer to being the master of your thoughts, what's next? If you can't get enough of Alan Watts' true-to-life knowledge, you'll be happy to know there is more to come. In the next video, we are going to discuss 4 daily habits that can damage your flow of life according to Alan Watts. So keep an eye out for the latest upload.